What's up, everyone? Jason Gilbo here at JGilbo11, taking a look at pitching for tonight's slate. It's Tuesday, 15 games, a lot to kind of go over here. A lot of good arms going tonight. It's Clayton Kershaw, Lance McCullers, Carlos Carrasco, Jenny Cueto. I mean, numerous names going tonight. So breaking into it here, we'll talk about Clayton Kershaw, who obviously comes in as your more expensive pitcher on the night. The strikeouts haven't really followed as much as we'd hope for a guy of this price tag. But this is also a good spot against the Cardinals, who do rank 19th in WOBA against lefties, and they do have a decent 22.4% strikeout rate. Look at Kershaw. I mean, has been pretty solid this year. His only real ugly start came in Coors, and an ugly start for Kershaw is allowing 4 earned runs. So looking at Kershaw, I mean, above average for strikeout rate this year, 26.1%. Swing strike rate is down 4% from the past few seasons, where it was up in the 14 to 15% range. A little bit of a concern, I guess you could say, but I still do like him. Still one of the higher strikeout rates on the slate. It does rank third, however. Carlos Carrasco and Lance McCullers are higher, and they do have similar peripheral numbers right now. So it's not necessarily an automatic given. Kershaw in tournaments lock him in. I mean, you can go cheaper ways. So we'll talk about that. But I mean, Kershaw's still your safer cash game guy, especially in this matchup. I mean, look at Vegas, has the Cardinals projected for under 3 runs. Huge home favorites. So Kershaw, as usual, definitely a guy you can look to use tonight. But if you're looking to make that first kind of pivot away in GPPs, I like Lance McCullers quite a bit. 27.2% strikeout rate this season, 12.1% swing strike rate. You look at this offense of Detroit. It's fairly right-handed. They do have a couple of lefties when they decide to throw in Tyler Collins, and even the lefties. I mean, outside of Victor Martinez, you're not really worried about them anyway. But against right-handed pitching, I mean, 32% strikeout rate, and we saw last night. The Tigers' strikeout rate against right-handed pitching is high. I mean, it's 22%. Brad Peacock was out there, I believe, finished with 7 or 8 strikeouts. So. The strikeout upside is there for McCullers despite a tough matchup. They do have the highest hard contact rate. They do have the 12th ranked WOBA against righties. So there is some risk, but McCullers does a great job of keeping the ball on the ground, 60.6% strikeout rate. You love that about him. Combining it with the strikeout rate of 27%. I mean, I like McCullers here. He's a little bit cheaper than Kershaw. I like tossing him in some GPPs, getting some exposure because the upside's there. Should be backed by plenty of run support, which is nice given that Jordan Zimmerman's on the other side of things. So I like the strikeout upside for McCullers here tonight. Carlos Carrasco is that next kind of other pivot. A little bit of risk here given the fact that he did leave injured. I was dealing with a pectoral issue. Before that, Carrasco was absolutely solid, allowed more than 2 earned runs just once, and that was the start against Seattle. He allowed just 3, so he's been spectacular this season. I don't mind targeting him in GPPs. He's borderline cash. I think the injuries just keep me down a little bit. You look at this Reds team, not bad. I mean, 7th in WOBA against right-handed pitching, average strikeout rate. One thing to note, they do rank 28th in hard contact, which is not very good. Carrasco has a solid 12% swing strike rate, 27% strikeout rate. Doesn't walk a lot of guys. Allowing a 296 WOBA to lefties, which is notable for guys like Joey Votto, Scott Schebler, holding right-handers to a 217 WOBA. So going to be able to neutralize the power of Adam Duvall, Zach Kozar, guys like that, Eugenio Suarez. So Carrasco been dominant away from home, allowing a 189 WOBA. I mean, as long as he works around Votto and kind of, keeps guys off base, Carrasco's going to be fine. So I definitely don't mind using Carrasco as a GPP pivot away. Matt Schumacher, this is a guy I don't mind on 2 pitcher sites, GPP for 1. Schumacher has a strikeout potential here tonight. We saw it last night with JC Ramirez against a strikeout happy team. Rays are very good against right-handed pitching. There's no doubt about it. I mean, the power's there. 6th in WOBA, 4th in ISO, 5th in hard contact. There's no sugarcoating that. This is a team that can certainly knock out a pitcher very quickly, especially one of Schumacher, who is a fly ball pitcher. So there's a lot of potential there, but the strikeout upside is something to take a look at in GPPs. Schumacher has a lot of 10 home runs this season, so that's one concern. But 7 or more strikeouts and 4 or 9 starts this season, 11.6% swinging strike rate, 23.6% strikeout rate. I would like to see him throw the slider a little bit more tonight. 21% of the time he throws it this year. Rays have hit his split finger or have hit split finger fastballs well in the small sample size this year. They rank 25th against sliders. So if he can get the fastball and the slider really working tonight, he has a good shot to have a really decent outing. So I definitely don't mind using him at all. Next, I want to talk about Jesse Hahn. You look at this Marlins offense, I mean, starting to drop off against right-handed pitching. 24th in WOBA, 26th in ISO, average strikeout rate 20.4%. Still a good lineup. Yelich, Realmuto, Stanton, Ozuna. This is not a bad lineup. Hitting a lot of bad ballparks, facing some good pitching. I mean, they're bound to struggle a little bit. Jesse Hahn, though, on the other hand, has been fairly solid. A little bit mixed numbers, probably been a little bit lucky, but he's SP2 playable just because of how cheap he is. I don't think he's has the big blow up potential like some of the other cheap guys. And you look at him, I mean, very solid against right-handed hitters in his career, 348 WOBA, or 248 WOBA, allowing a 281 WOBA to lefties this year, but is walking a ton of bats, not allowing a ton of hard contact, 28.5%. K to walk ratio is, fairly average, but a top 5 pitchers park in baseball. You look at this, one of the lower run totals on the slate. Hahn is certainly SP2 playable just to kind of pair up with a more expensive pitcher, just to allow you to get some bats in, because a lot of these mid-range guys, I mean, you're not completely comfortable with. I mean, there are some, but it's not exciting names. So to wrap it up, I mean, I like Kershaw, McCullers. I mean, if you want to spin off, Cueto and John Lester kind of get lost a little bit. There is some rain in the area tonight. I don't think that game's going to be completely safe for pitching anyway. Wind's blowing back in. So, Lester would be an intriguing GPP guy, but for the most part, I think this game's going to be a little bit iffy for rain. Dylan Bundy would be an exciting GPP guy for me at a cheaper price tag. Outside of that, I mean, we get a rematch of the Royals-Yankees. Danny Duffy's going to probably draw some ownership just because of recency bias. I'm not completely going back to the well there. I think there are better pitchers to kind of go after tonight and use. I know Matt Harvey's probably going to draw some interest from some of you against the Padres, who strike out a ton. At 6,500 on DK, I still can't get behind it. I'm sorry. I mean, I rather kind of go against Harvey and miss Harvey on this start than actually play him and have him get rocked. So Rick Porcello, a little bit expensive for my taste, been allowing a little bit too much hard contact. Some of these other names, I mean, Patrick Corbin, White Sox are solid against lefties. So it's kind of narrowed down once you get down to the nitty gritty of it. That those are the arms that you're kind of looking at. Alex Cobb might be a decent option. I mean, we've seen this Angels offense roll pretty quietly for the most part outside of Sunday. Cobb's starting to kind of find some form here. So Cobb's a guy that you can take a look at on 2-pitcher sites as an SP2. I'll definitely give him that run. So everyone else, for the most part, you're probably stacking away against. And that's going to wrap things up here. You can head over to fantasycafe.com, check out great tools and content.